I actually like the next title. It's Ori and the Blind Forest. It's like it was hard to describe for me. There is this little white creature that seemed like a mix between a dragon, a lion, a gargoyle, and a monkey. And it seemed like what you do is go through levels, solve puzzles, fly around, and it looks like a Steam puzzler game, like one of those indie Steam puzzler games. Sure.
Indie Steam puzzler games. That means it's gonna be a huge hit. No, I'm kidding.
More than likely. Looks good.
Yeah, I was like, why don't you just put this on Steam? And again, it's following the trend of this more, casual, just sitting down for 15 minutes and playing kind of thing.
It's multi-platform.
Yeah, which I don't personally mind, but it's like, okay. I really liked the look though. I especially liked that little creature, whatever the hell it was. Yeah. Opinions. Anything.
That side looked good. That's the game I play.
Alright, are you gonna buy it? Tommy?
Probably not. I'm not getting an Xbox One.
Oh.
I might
Hashtag,
get a PC.
it looks good.
Hashtag it looks good. That's pretty much how the whole, yeah.
My opinion's pretty much going to echo something that Tommy said earlier about... This is just another one of those instances where it's like, the game looks cool and everything, but there's like just only so much we can get from this real short trailer. I mean...
No.
Well, hashtag it looks good. There we go. Perfect.
Well,
That's
my
Microsoft.
opinion
It looks
exactly.
good, but what is it? Yeah.
well, it really just reminded me of one of those Steam games, like
Yeah.
freaking what's that game called? The robots that take snapshots, whatever it's called, or Gish, or any of those. Seriously, if I would see it and wouldn't know it's from Microsoft, or wouldn't have seen it here, I would have thought it's a Steam puzzler indie game. I would probably get it. Depending on the price on Steam. I hope they put it on Steam. That would be great, actually. Because I don't have Xboxes. So I'll probably not get any. So there you go. Cool.
Xbox.
Hashtag it looks good.
What's next?
Alright, Halo 5 Guardians.
Ooh.
I need to quote something she said. It says...
The big gun.
It says, a real place inhabited by real characters. I always like when they say something like that. And what they announced in that segment was a Halo The Master Chief Collection coming out November 11th.
Mm-hmm.
Which is basically a compilation of all 5 games with Master Chief, with everything unlocked on one disc, with 60 FPS on a dedicated server. They had to point that out. Also, they somewhere on the side mentioned that Halo Nightfall is a thing. And yeah, opinions about Halo 5 and the collection. And
Oh man, Halo. This series will forever be connected with the core of the Xbox.
yeah.
Halo made the Xbox. It wasn't the only thing that made the Xbox, but if you could,
Call of Duty.
but Call of Duty's multi-platform.
I know.
Yeah, Halo is just that. If there's any one series that you could say that's responsible for Microsoft's success in video games, it's
That
Halo.
one is it, yeah.
It was.
So-
That's all I heard about when the Xbox came out.
Is that a good thing, or should we go curse you?
I'm gonna go
No.
curse you.
No.
You know why I'm gonna
It
go
is a
curse
good
you?
thing.
Yeah, why?
I'm sorry, Nima.
Oh no, you go ahead.
I stopped playing after ODST.
Oh.
I stopped playing after when Bungie let go of Halo is when I stopped playing, and it's not because of company loyalty. They took the game, they focused less on the gameplay, they focused more on the story, and I ate it. They had a perfectly good balance of that in 1 and 2, I think. It was less about the story, more about the gameplay. It was kind of like I would say about a 65-35 split between gameplay and story. I remember sitting up late at night with Gaia playing hours and hours and hours of Halo 2 online multiplayer and playing the campaign on Legendary, and I had a blast. And 3 kind of borrowed a lot from 2, but 3 was still awesome. And then after that, done. Couldn't do it.
I like how you mentioned Halo 2, because that is actually my only exposure to the series, playing multiplayer in that game. And I still remember it vividly. It was fun as hell.
Mhm.
And I'm not normally a guy who's into first-person shooters. It was pretty damn good.
Well, any more opinions?
Well, I mean, it's like I said earlier, Halo is what, that's Microsoft's thing. That's their one pillar, the pillar that's contributed most to the foundation, that is the Xbox. And I think it's great that they have all this stuff going on. They have the Master Chief Collection, all this other stuff too. So it's good information and good content for all of those Xbox people. Really.
The Xbox
all
people.
you people that
All you people out there.
Oh, you. He's looking at you. Anyway, do you guys have any more opinions? Because mine is gonna be super quick.
I have one more. I have one
Okay.
more to say. I hope nobody is getting shocked or disappointed that Master Chief isn't going to be the main character of Guardians, because was he really that interesting of a character to begin with? Like, I know there are novels of Halo that like explore him more thoroughly, but seriously, how exciting is this guy as a character? Seriously, people. That's
Are
not
those
why
novels-
we play Halo.
Nima is challenging you.
Are those novels made by 343 Studios or Bungie?
I do not know. I've never read them.
There you go.
At least Samus was a girl.
What?
What?
When did that
Spoilers!
happen?
Spoilers! No, just kidding.
Oh,
Like-
come on.
like I
Other
said.
M people.
Alright,
But like I
leave,
said,
leave your
who plays
comments.
Halo for Master Chief.
Leave your hate comments towards Nima below. I'm just kidding. Alright. Well, I have a simple opinion about this. I haven't played the Halo series whatsoever. I've seen parts of a Let's Play once, Tommy, and it's for me. This game just kind of passed me, and it looked good, but I was fucking confused because it's like, okay, look, we're just throwing 3 different titles at you, and I was like, wait, hold the phone. What? So is this a thing? Is this a thing? Is this? It was confusing for me because I've not dealt with these games whatsoever. But hey, whoever's into this, good time for you guys, right?
Yeah.
For somebody like me, it's like, okay, this exists. Cool. Moving on. So yeah. Cool. So yeah, let's move on because
Yes.
we're moving on to something that comes out early 2015. It's called Inside, and it basically looks like Limbo minus the silhouettes, so you can
Mhm.
actually see colors.
Yeah.
Colors.
Opinions?
Colorful Limbo.
Hashtag colorful limbo. All right.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's pretty much it. Another one of those instances where it's just like, hey, cool trailer.
Cool.
That's all
cool
I can
story,
say.
bro. Hashtag cool story, bro.
Yeah,
So nothing much to say here, I guess.
not for me anyway.
Looks at Tommy.
Oh, it's this one. I was looking up the trailer for it. This looks really cool,
Yeah.
actually.
It's like limbo.
And I'm finding a trend here. All the shooter and zombie games, I'm like, eh. And anytime I see Microsoft coming out with something that's not either of those two genres, I'm happy that they're branching out and doing other things, or at least allowing other third parties or indies to showcase their stuff on here. I'm
Right.
If I had an Xbox One, or if it's coming on PC, I may give it a shot on PC. But
All right.
obviously, I'm not getting an Xbox One anytime soon.
Hashtag less shooters for Tommy. Anything to say about this at all, Names?
Hashtag it looks good.
Alright.
It looks good.
It did look good. It reminds me of Limbo, and Limbo is a pretty cool game, so
Mhm.
there you go. That's that.
I hope it doesn't come across that we're like the type of people in like an art studio that just go to picture going, oh, that looks nice, that looks
Oh,
nice.
no.
But
No.
it's quite literally like they just did not really show like a whole lot of like game.
Yeah.
Well,
It was like
gameplay,
I
it was just a
said.
trailer really.
Yeah.
It was a preview of all the YouTube E3 advertising we're gonna see on all our videos, and we always click skip ad because we want to watch the video we want to watch.
Alright. Hashtag less trailers, Microsoft. Alright. Here they had a little segment called ID at Xbox where they showed a few little trailers for a few games, but it went so fast. You did see nothing much. I couldn't keep up with all the names they put there. From what I've seen or remember, there's nothing that was very popular. But I could be wrong because I'm not exactly.
There are a couple actually.
Really, like
there are actually a couple. And I'm really disappointed in Microsoft because there's a couple of really good games that are coming out. Plague Inc. Plague Inc. Evolved is one of the games that was on that set of trailers.
Right.
And that is a really popular mobile game. I have it on my phone. I had it on my iPod when I was using it. That one's a good one. Basically, that is a game where you start off as a small microbe and you try to spread out virus to the entire world.
That's the kind of game you play, Tommy? Interesting.
That's one game. There's another game. Which one is it? Mighty Number 9. There was I remember when the Kickstarter started for this game.
I remember that too.
And some of the same staff that developed the Mega Man games are on this staff making this game. And it looks very similar. It's different
including
protagonists.
The creator of Mega Man himself, Keiji Inafune.
Yep, same guy. Right. And that one's going to be really popular when it comes out. It's going to be on every single platform. It's going to be, I think it's going to be Steam. I think it's going to be Xbox, PlayStation, Wii U, maybe even 3DS on the eShop. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
that's another good one.
That'll be interesting to watch.
All right, so #Kitty lives under a rock, and that was trailerception because it was trailer, and they didn't show anything much at all. It was like 10 seconds per game, maybe 15-ish. Watch the trailer and make your own opinion. That's a good thing because we can't say an awful lot, and everything that can be said was just summed up by Tommy. Thank you.
Also, Guacamelee Super Turbo Championship Edition.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Guacamelee.
I actually saw that. Yeah, I saw the booth for that at PAX East 2014.
Yeah, I do remember that one.
Yeah, and I even played it.
Is Guacamelee coming out on Nintendo eShop as well?
I don't know.
Not that I know
of. I don't know.
Not sure.
All right, should we move on, or do you have anything more to say about the trailer reception?
No.
Trailerception. Well, I do have one quick thing to say.
Sure.
Going back to Dead Rising 3.
Okay.
The Super Ultra Arcade Remix Hyper blah 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 blah. It's not a brand new game. It's a DLC for Dead Rising 3. I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that.
All right.
Yeah.
#Nima just saved us. All right. Okay. Next, they had a game that they started out with showing this chick sitting at a psychiatrist. And the moment I saw it, I was like, this smells like Tomb Raider. But I wasn't sure. I hadn't heard anything of a new Tomb Raider coming out. Until you saw Lara at the end, and I'm like, this is friggin' Tomb Raider. It is Rise of the Tomb Raider, Holiday 2015. I'm like, whoa, dude, whoa. They had a lot of action scenes in there, obviously. It was just a cinematic trailer, pretty much. No gameplay.
It'd be a great movie.
I know, right? Great.
A lot of these games could be great films.
I know.
And they're wasting it on a bit. I'm sorry. It's going to be a video game rather than a film. Right. No, Tomb Raider. I'm down for Tomb Raider.
Yeah, me too. I'm down for it.
I'm down for Angelina Jolie as Lara Croft. Remember those movies?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I remember the N64 Tomb Raider too.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that for this Tomb Raider game, unlike when they announced the other modern Tomb Raider game that released like a few years ago, I'm just glad that they didn't have like in the demonstration just Laura grunting like for the whole trailer.
I know,
like,
right?
Oh my god.
#slim sex noises.
well, Lara's like alone on this island for long periods of time, so and everybody's got needs.
Next game.
Annoying.
Next game.
Basically, Tomb Raider is awesome. I haven't personally played anything after the first game, PS1 with the cone breasts, honestly. But I wanted to, and I'll get to those games whenever I can afford them in some way, and if they have them on computer, obviously, because that's a requisite. ugh, whatever. I need them to be on PC. Basically, hashtag it looks good.
As for my opinion, I haven't played a Tomb Raider game since Tomb Raider 3.
There you go.
Yeah, we're talking that long ago.
Yep.
This is back when the series still had horrible, clunky controls.
Mhm.
So, I haven't seen the Reborn series yet. I haven't played it either. Well, I mean, technically I've seen trailers, but I haven't played it yet. So, it looks like a totally different experience, quite honestly. It's a huge departure from the blocky pyramids and
Yeah.
temples and those teeny tiny pixelated scorpions that kill you.
Yeah.
Question: when you said pyramids, were you referring to pyramids or her cone-shaped breast?
Both.
Both.
Okay. Just want to be clear on that.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Alright. Hashtag moving on then, I guess. Unless Tommy wants to say something else.
No.
Alright. This is another series I haven't personally played, but The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Which what they showed was him doing a quest about a griffin hunt. And I personally haven't played the series, but I was in a call with some other people while I watched this, and they were complaining that in previous games the fighting was crap. And from this trailer or the little gameplay they showed, the fighting looks way better in this one. So, but that's not my opinion. That's just what experienced players have said, because I haven't played a single one of these games yet. Opinions?
I have nothing to say.
Okay, cool. Hashtag nothing to say. Nima?
I don't have much to say, but I have to say, the series has always looked captivating, just watching it. It's like, it sounds like something I could get into, but I would just have to get into it from the beginning. I'm not going to jump straight into this game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Slim?
Well, for me, it's interesting because I feel like we've seen this game at like the last several E3s. Like, I don't know. I keep hearing the name Witcher, but like, I just don't really know much about it. I'm glad that they finally had like a gameplay demonstration where I could actually see, oh, okay, this is what this game's about. Yeah, I mean, it looks interesting, looks good. The demonstration was nice and informative. Guy hunts a griffin, has a good time doing so, and that's really about it.
Well, again, I've heard the name of the series before, like The Witcher as a whole, but I haven't played any of the games. It seemed like the griffin thing, it was just a side quest kind of thing, and it seemed...
yeah.
And it seemed like the world is like pretty huge and there's some sort of main story going on, but they didn't show anything of that. It's almost like they were expecting that everybody already knows what The Witcher is exactly, which, well, we're screwed. Hashtag we're screwed. Because,
I noticed that in this particular Witcher game, the developers claimed that the world is even bigger than Skyrim's world.
Yeah.
And that's a huge boast.
Yep. But we can't tell because the game looked really good. Very nice graphics and everything. The side quest was neat, but I'm like, well, story? Question mark? What is this all about?
It's got the style, but does it have the substance?
Pretty much.
That's a good way to say it.
That's all we can say here, guys.
Yeah.
So, hey, let's move on. They did mention a remake they're gonna make. Killer Instinct. But
Yes.
I don't know, do we need to say much about this?
At EVO, they announced that this would be an exclusive for Xbox One, and everyone went ballistic and started booing the guy who announced that on stage. So there's obviously a really negative. There's a lot of negativity with this being an exclusive game on this console. So
yeah, just to make it clear, this is basically season 2 of the Killer Instinct remake from 2013.
Alright.
So basically a continuation of that. And I gotta say, I was not impressed with the 2013 remake, and a lot of other fighting gamers I know feel the same way.
Well, personally don't know what to say about this because I'm like, well, okay, they just kind of mentioned it in passing. So
Yeah, that's all they did.
they didn't. Again, sometimes they didn't show anything, and I'm like, okay, I noted, writing it down. Cool, thank you. Moving on. I don't think we said anything more.
Not really. There's not much else to say.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, the next game was kind of similar. It's Phantom Dust. And a quote was, "The battle for reality begins." And I'm like, that's great. What is this
How
all
do you
about?
battle?
Yeah, like,
How do you battle?
that's great.
How do you battle for reality? I can't tell.
Like, that's great, but what the hell is this all about? I'm like, no idea.
You know what my sister said when we saw the trailer for this?
What?
I said, "Hey, that looks like Phoenix Wright," and she said, "That looks like Franziska von Karma. Is this like a Capcom like lawyer battle game or something?" No, it's not. Those obviously aren't the characters, but she just said that's von Karma, the girl.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, it looks like her. So we don't know much about the game other than it's apparently a fighter and their arms can glow and
Yeah.
buildings can fall down and it's
And building stacks. No, I have no idea, honestly. It's like...
GSS.
It's there. It exists. We're just gonna acknowledge this and move on, I guess.
Pretty much.
Alright.
Holy arms.
Don't clap.
Oh, wait. One thing I will say. Ken Lob. That's all I have to say.
Hashtag moving on. Tom Clancy's The Division coming 2015. Yeah, opinions?
Another trailer with no gameplay. It looks good.
They did have gameplay.
Did they?
They
I
did.
didn't see that.
Yeah, they were shooting at stuff. They were in this like weird city and they shot like those paint cans and stuff.
Did they show? Let me see again.
Yeah, they showed footage of this. Two different.
I only saw a trailer.
They showed it again in another
They
conference.
showed two different kind of footages. They
Oh,
showed
that
it-
must have been like Ubisoft then, right?
Yeah, they showed it in Ubisoft too.
That's why I didn't
Yeah.
see it.
I showed it twice. They had different footages, thank you. And it was this city setup where he was just shooting at stuff, and I remembered those paint cans splattering. It was green color. That detail.
Hashtag green color.
Hashtag green color. Yes.
Looks
thank
good.
you. Yeah, it looked good.
Looks good.
I was actually talking to some people at the time again, and they were excited because it's like, oh my god, finally another Tom Clancy game I can buy again after all these not so good games recently. Not my opinion, just paraphrasing and quoting here. So, yeah, it looked good. Hashtag it looks good.
I'm noticing this is another trend with a lot of the games that are going to be coming out within the next year or two. A lot of the story, if they even have any sort of story, if you saw the trailer during the Microsoft conference, there are a lot of really dark and defeatist type storylines coming out where the world's coming to an end
Yeah.
or cities are going into anarchy. People are just dying left and right everywhere, whether it's a plague, whether it's just of age, or whether there's warfare going on. There's a lot of those games. I guess developers don't have a very positive outlook on the next decade.
I don't
Well,
know.
I don't know.
The way I look at it is the apocalypse is so freaking cool to watch and
Right?
play it. You know, like I think developers are realizing, hey, customers like seeing apocalypse scenarios on TV and in movies. Why not video games?
I think the factor that plays into this is that the apocalypse could be literally anything, so there's room for anything. They don't have to like, obey any rules whatsoever. The apocalypse could be something as stupid as, I don't know, suddenly the dolphins are taking over the world. Simpsons. Or
Or the dolphins are flying away from the world's Hitchhiker's Guide.
Or suddenly the bees are leaving. Doctor Who. Or, it could be, like, anything. So I think that's just a lot of freedom for game developers because they can do whatever the hell they want. Plus, it's really popular as you mentioned because zombies and end of world and let's save everybody and we're the only survivors and so
Basically, it shakes up our everyday lives. It's
Yep.
completely different from the norm, and this is a way to experience it without actually having it happen.
yeah. Yeah, well, games are a means to escape real life, so there you go. How better to do this than,
Exactly.
Okay, Any more
Pretty
about
much.
Any more about the Division?
Well, it's a Tom Clancy game that's not Splinter Cell or Rainbow Six, so
Right.
hey, cool.
Yeah, I gotta
Hashtag
say,
looks good.
The Division definitely looks like a game that me, my brother, and my friends might possibly pick up and play together. We have been talking about it. It
Mhm.
does have a lot of potential. I look forward to seeing how it shapes up.
Okay. Hashtag we are curious. Okay.
Yes.
Moving on, I guess. Unless you guys have anything else. Scalebound, which the trailer was hilarious because it reminded me of Devil May Cry. Because the guy kind of
Dante.
yeah, the guy looked like Dante with
Dante.
headphones. He had like this bow and arrow shooting whatever it was, arrows with like green light, and there were a lot of dragons in that trailer. So opinions.
Dragons.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Hashtag dragons moving on.
Hashtag it looks
everywhere.
good. Hashtag fake Dante. There.
Okay, I can say a tiny bit more than just it looks good.
Okay, go for it.
I did like that it reminded me a lot of Dante. Like, he seemed like this. He wasn't as cocky as Dante, but definitely, you know, very confident in himself. I liked the look of him and the attitude. I was just a bit confused because it's like, there was this. I think it was a dragon following him, and then at some point some other dragon came out and he was riding him, and it's like, so is he like a dragon whisperer, or what exactly is this all about?
Aragon.
Judging from the title, Scalebound, probably he's a dragon whisperer or something, God knows. It looked really good as in the world around it, but we didn't see any gameplay whatsoever. It was just this trailer.
Yeah, and dragons.
We didn't hear anything, and not one single word about the stories. It's like, hey, your guess is as good as mine. Maybe, I don't know. Could be anything. I would like to hear more about what the story is here, but yeah. They said nothing, and I was like, no, but it looks so good. I would like to hear more about this. It looks nice. It looks interesting. It reminds me of Devil May Cry without the demons. Just put dragons in. That's about right.
Yeah. Dragon may cry.
Yes! Dragon May Cry. There you go.
There you go, right there.
Alright. Hashtag Microsoft, give me more story.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah, I
Story
agree
blocks.
with that.
Blocks, yeah. Alright. Anything else to say about this?
About this
Not
game
really.
or
Yeah.
about Microsoft?
No.
Well, there's one more. There's
Scalebound.
at least one more, I think.
Oh, okay.
I know. I mean, Scalebound. No.
Nothing else to say about Scalebound.
Okay.
Hashtag Dante fights dragons.
Yes. Alright. So we had one more title called Crackdown,
Oh yes.
which was a lot of and and some more. I specifically remember that truck that was covered in explosives, extremely covered in explosives, and everything explodes, just the whole city on fire, and that's pretty much how it went.
Yeah, we get it. Games are being made with destructible environments.
I know, right?
So everyone knows how to do that now. So everyone's got to make a game like that.
It looked very action-packed, but
It looked colorful.
yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's like something I was gonna say. I mean, there's been a lot of this, obviously, during this conference, but this was definitely the most colorful game. All
Yes.
neon lights and
Colors.
everything.
It
all
definitely was
like
colorful.
all these games, a lot of these games were, like I was saying, not only the storylines are dark, but the color schemes for everything is just pale and
Yeah.
almost like there's a grayscale kind of hue, whatever you want to call it, over everything.
Desaturated.
Yeah, and this one just mesmerized. It looked nice.
Oh my god,
It looked good.
Hashtag it looks good. Again, we don't know anything about the story whatsoever. It's just like, okay, one person is killing the next person, and then the next person is killing. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Microsoft hashtag story plucks. So,
Pretty much, yeah.
or you
Yes.
know, what
Not
genre?
enough information, just
Right.
a lot of.
But man, does it look action packed. I mean, that's obvious.
This is actually a good segue, anyways. Unless you want to say more about this game specifically, to like give your general thoughts about Microsoft conference, because I don't have any more games on the list.
There is one game we did not mention.
Which one?
It's called Fru.
Fru?
No. Yeah. I'm pretty sure they showed it as a trailer. It was an indie game, but they what they did is they created a cooperative platformer where two players used the Xbox Kinect, and you could see their silhouettes on the screen. And what the silhouettes could do, they could either hide or reveal platforms in the game. And you'd have to stand in these weird stances with your partner in order to reveal certain paths so that your players could get to the exits. I don't know if you guys saw that or not.
I think I remember that, like, faintly.
But that is the kind of... those are the kind of ideas that if you wanted the Kinect to be successful, make a game either similar to that or use the Kinect in a creative way, and not just to...
Yeah.
I don't know, not just to slice fruit.
You can do that at home. Spoilers in the kitchen. Spoilers.
Yep.
Get back in the kitchen and slice me up some fruit.
Yeah.
If I want to move my arms like karate chop motions, I'm gonna play ninja with my friends in real life.
I know.
We'll just stand in a circle and we'll try to hit each other's hands.
Okay.
That's a lot more fun than the Kinect. But that game actually looked really cool.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Microsoft opinions.
Yes.
Yes, please.
In general, this is Microsoft pretty much knows who their audience is and who buys their games.
Yeah.
And they know how to cater to the audience really well. So I feel like the general theme of Microsoft this year is, if you already like us, you're going to like us even more. And if you didn't, your thoughts probably aren't going to change. Also, if you haven't played Dead Rising 3 when it first came out, you'll want to get the DLC. Hell, even if you have Dead Rising 3, you'll probably want the DLC.
Mm-hmm.
But don't get Killer Instinct Season 2. There are much better fighting games out there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I have to say.
Okay, Tommy?
Yeah. What I did a few days ago is I actually tallied for Microsoft, Sony, EA, and Ubisoft. I didn't do this tally for Nintendo for obvious reasons, but I made a list of games involving guns, gore, and violence versus games involving sports versus other titles. And out of the big three, Microsoft, out of their exclusives and multiplayer games, they only showed 6 games that were in the other category. They had tons of games that were either shooters or they involve zombies in some way. And
like I said, they know their audience.
Yeah, that's the generation of gamer right now. Is if you're a developer that doesn't make a shooter or a zombie, then a lot of people who are really mainstream gamers aren't going to see you as a legitimate force in the industry.
Right.
And that's honestly really sad to me. It's not necessarily Microsoft's fault, but they are embracing that culture and profiting. So
Exactly.
But as far as their conference, too many trailers. If you're gonna show off games, show off the games.
Yeah.
Damn straight.
And that's all I have to say.
Slim?
Okay, very quick flashback to last year. Not a lot of people really liked Microsoft last year, from what I can remember.
Yeah.
I remember it was. I think a lot of people just kind of had their panties in a bunch. Pardon the expression, just because of the Xbox pricing and all that other stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You guys know the story. But I really, really liked Microsoft last year, and I did like what they showed this year. I agree they had a little too many trailers for my taste, but they still had games, and they showcased games, and if you remember what they said at the very beginning, it was games. That's what they promised, and that's what they delivered. So, I mean, I definitely think they did good. Maybe not as good as they did last year, in my opinion, but I think they also did better for other gamers. Like, I feel like people thought Microsoft did a better job this year than last year, and I think they, in that sense, they did do a really good job because they did actually open their arms to their audiences a little more. But as far as I'm concerned, like I'd rank it just a little bit lower than last year for me, anyway.
Okay. I guess I have kind of a crossover opinion. Tommy said that they're mostly focusing on shooters and stuff, but on the other hand, I'm like, well, if nobody else covers this, somebody has to, because there's different kinds of gamers. But they did definitely add some titles in there that, work for more casual gamers, like Ori or, some of the others. What was a bit sitting weird with me this year, they had a good conference, but if you're just showing trailer after trailer after trailer, you might as well just make a YouTube playlist and go like, here guys, a tweet. Here guys, here, look at our trailers. We don't need the blah blah in between. It's like, whatever, we're not even there. You don't need us. It would have been nice to see a bit of info about some of the games. Like, hey, what's the story here? I mean, we just saw the trailer. Okay, the cinematics look great, but what is this even about? Like, I have no idea. I feel like they almost expected you to either know what the series is, like with The Witcher, or just, you're gonna keep following them or something, like in the case of Dante versus Dragons there. And I was just like, well, the problem is I'm probably gonna forget about this game again, because it's just not gonna stay in my mind, because I know nothing about it. And until they're bringing anything out, I'm gonna be forgetting about it completely. It's just, I don't know. And it just would have been nice to have a bit more info. They did deliver, though. They were focusing only on games. Though I was personally never bothered by the fact that they added, like last year, multimedia stuff. Because I'm probably one of the few people who can see where they were going with it. So it didn't bother me. Mm-hmm. But it was a good conference. It wasn't specifically extremely awesome, but also not specifically extremely sucky. It was just like, okay, good solid job. Mm-hmm. But please, for the love of God, put some more story or say something. Like, at least show the trailer and tell us what the story is, or just what you're doing in that game, or
right.
Something, please. Hashtag Microsoft, please, more info.
Yeah. They may have been just trying to avoid, because they've had plenty, like I would say from the 2009 to 2012 time frame, they had a lot of either really awkward or really terrible presentations, and that's not exclusive to Microsoft. Right. If we remember Nintendo with Cammy, that one year when they revealed Super Mario Galaxy 2, there's an example of something that went. that was so
bad.
Awkward.
That was bad.
So I think Microsoft was playing it safe this year with all these trailers. They wanted to present the games themselves without having to have someone come up and do something really stupid.
Screw it up.
Like Ridge Racer.
It's like, who do we trust in our Nope. All right, trailers it is.
But here's the thing, like Microsoft, like Sony has the Ridge Racer debacle, Nintendo has Cammy, and Microsoft has the fist bump.
Oh, the Kinect. Yeah, the year they had the big Kinect reveal. Oh my god. I think what's really interesting, they brought back a speaker from last year. The guy he was the fall guy for announcing the Xbox One pricing after Sony had already announced theirs. They brought him back.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name, but they brought him back to talk about some of the games they were releasing.
Was it Spencer?
Yeah, I think that was his name.
Yeah. Well, his last name anyway.
Yeah. One thing I will say really quickly, just a very quick point. I'm glad you said that thing about they seem to be showing a lot of games that you have to keep up with, because there were a few titles that I almost forgot that they even revealed last year. The Division being a big one, because they announced that last year, but I didn't even realize it was part of last year until I looked up a small thing and said, this was announced at E3 2013. I'm like, oh, it was?
I thought that was a new game.
Yeah, the problem with that, though, is that if you announce something, like, for example, last year, and you bring it back this year, you should have something new to show for it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Which is why I was like, so is this the same thing? Or did they change anything? Like, for this Project Spark, I was like, gosh, you had a whole year to show something new, or,
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, well, okay, cool, it's there.
Pretty much.
I mean, last year I was excited. This year I'm just like, okay. I'd completely forgotten in the meantime even that it existed. So you should follow up if you're bringing it out again and add something new so you can keep your your viewers interested in it even if they forgot in the meantime. But re-spark the interest basically. But
I agree.
okay.
I agree.
All right.
So I also have one more thing to say. When I said if you haven't played Dead Rising 3, get the DLC, that sounds kind of weird on its own, but what I meant by that was Capcom's probably gonna release like a Game of the Year or a Complete Edition where you can buy Dead Rising 3 with a DLC code or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. Just wanted to clarify.
Well, Microsoft summed up in a hashtag. It looks good and more story plugs.
Yes, please.
Cool.
Yeah.
Can we agree to that? All right.
Okay.
Anything else to say about this?
I'm done. I've said my piece.
Cool. Name's Tommy.
Sunset Overdrive.
Tommy, anything else?
Forza.
All right.
All right.
And for me, hashtag kitteh lives under a rock. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. We're gonna move on with other companies, and we'll see you on those videos. I hope.
Okay. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Later.